Welcome to NEPA SportzXtra. I am Dave Rosengrant, and we have a jam-packed show here for you this week. We will recap District 2 swimming, Super Regional Wrestling. We will talk to local sports enthusiast Carlo Mercadante. And spring is in the air. Nice weather, so that means we're going to talk some college baseball this week too. But first, we're going to start off with a little bit of an exclusive here on NEPA SportzXtra. As of this recording, this item has not been in any local newspaper in NEPA and has not been on any local sportscast on the news in NEPA. And that is in regards to high school wrestling. The National Prep Championships were originally scheduled to be held last month. They were pushed back, and it looked like they were in jeopardy of not being held at all. However, this past weekend it was announced that they would be held. Not only that, Wyoming Seminary head coach Scott Green made an announcement on Rockfin and on Twitter stating that the National Prep Championship will be held in May at Mohegan Sun Arena. This is a pretty big event to be held here in NEPA. While it's going to look a lot different than previous years, and not just because it's going to be held here in Wilkes-Barre Township, it's still going to pack a punch and be a pretty big draw. They're not sure if there's going to be fans allowed inside. Keep your fingers crossed for that. But there's a real good chance that you're going to see the top two high school wrestling teams in the country, Wyoming Seminary and Blair Academy, battling it out for the number one team in the country spot at the National Prep Championships at Mohegan Sun Arena in Wilkes-Barre Township in early May. Back in December, Wyoming Seminary made the decision to not have wrestling, or at least postpone the season this year, and Blair Academy was pretty much followed the same thing. And now we are going to have this great event here in NEPA at the Mohegan Sun Arena. There's still a lot of details to be hammered out, but it's looking pretty good for now, and at least we have the date and the site set, and all the details can get hammered out within the next 2 months or so. So pretty exciting news there. This past weekend at Delaware Valley High School was the District 2 Swimming Championships. It was split up to 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and they ran half the events on Saturday and the other half of the events on Sunday. The Scranton Prep girls took home the Class 2A team title, edging out Dallas 279 to 274. That was the closest score of all four events. In the Class 3A girls competition, Delaware Valley won with 368 points. In Class 2A, the Dallas boys won with 234.5 points. Wyoming Seminary was in second with 218. And the Class 3A boys, Hazleton area pulled out the win with 402 points. Delaware Valley was a very distant second with 299 points. The individual winners of every event punched their ticket to the state tournament. A lot of those winners, not winners, a lot of the state qualifiers were two-time winners at the district tournament. The two-time winners in Class 2A girls are Riley Collins from Wyoming Seminary, Skylar Rohrig from Wyoming Seminary, Julia Bucknavage from Holy Redeemer, Lauren Schofield from Scranton Prep, and the Wyoming Seminary Relay Team, which won 2 events. On the boys' side, Kevin Nolde from Elk Lake won 2 events, and Peter Kawash from Lakeland set the meet record in 2 events. In the 200 IM and the 100 back, he set meet records in both of those events. The Wyoming Seminary Boys Relay Team also won 2 events in Class AA. In Class 3A, as I said earlier, Hazleton area ran away with the team title, and that was led by, as they swept almost every race, a great showing by the Cougars. Anthony Goulstone won 2 events. Thomas Pollock won 2 events. Their relay team won 3 events. And they will all be heading to the state tournament. In 3A girls, the Delaware Valley relay team won 2 events. Victoria Corcoran from Delaware Valley was a 2-time winner, as was her teammate Sierra Gillen. And from Tunkhannock, Cameron Rogers is a 2-time winner at districts to qualify for states. Super Regional Wrestling was held this past weekend. In AA, the event was held at Pottsville High School, and in AAA, it was held at Quakertown High School. There was only one qualifier for Hershey, and who will also be a state medalist in Class AA from District 2. That is Wyoming area 113-pounder Jaden Pepe. The sophomore took first at the East Super Regional. Not only that, he will enter the state tournament ranked number 1 in the state and seeded first in his bracket. Going to be an exciting tournament for him, seems like. There were 7 wrestlers in Class AAA from District 2 who will be wrestling in Hershey this weekend. That would be on Saturday. AA is on Friday at Giant Center, and AAA is on Saturday at Giant Center. The AAA participants from District 2 in Hershey are Luke Sirianni from Abington Heights at 106 pounds, Zachary Jacaruso from Delaware Valley at 113 pounds, Austin Fashauer from West Scranton, 120 pounds, Gunnar Myers from Wallenpaupack at 120 pounds as well, Bryce Molinaro from Hazleton area, 189 pounds, Jason Henderson from Delaware Valley, 215 pounds, and Cameron Butka from West Scranton, the heavyweight. There were 2 East Super Regional champions from District 2 in Class AAA. Jacaruso from Delaware Valley took first, and Cameron Butka from West Scranton was the first place finisher at 285 pounds. Good luck to all those wrestlers this weekend at Giant Center in Hershey. If you have been around the local sports community at any time over the last 20 years, you've run into today's guest. In high school, back in 2001, he helped Myers football win a district title. He was state runner-up in wrestling 2 years later. And nowadays, you can see him on the sidelines of almost every big event in the area, collegiate or high school, as an athletic trainer. Just so happens that this month is also a National Athletic Trainers Month. Carlo Mercadante is also a big part of Scorpion Wrestling Club, which is doing great things for the youth wrestlers in the area. You might also see him playing flag football on weekends. I don't know where he gets all this time to do all these things. He's a very busy man. He wears a lot of different hats. So here is Carlo Mercadante. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Scorpion Wrestling Club, what you guys do there, and what's going on now with the club.
Yeah, we're a youth wrestling club, ages 4 and up. We're about in year 2 now. That's even during COVID, we did a lot of virtual wrestling. Our main emphasis is having fun, really, and learning the basics and foundation of wrestling. We really want the kids to fall in love with the sport, so they're wrestling well into junior high and high school, and if they're good enough, possibly college, But we're not in there grinding every day. We really try to make it fun, but teach the basics and good technique. Our motto is, no habits are better than bad habits. So we're really trying to drill those into it. And lately, the past couple of weeks, the stuff we've been doing in practice, from week to week, the kids are actually trying it in the match. So that, as a coach, I know that's what we're proud of, is they're actually trying moves we're showing them in practice instead of going out there and not trying it or doing moves that we didn't show them, doing it moves the wrong way. So win or lose, as long as they're trying the moves that we've taught them, that's what we're looking for.
Now, you're located at the Rock Rec Center there.
Yes, we're in Shavertown and Rock Rec Center. We had to move around here and there with COVID, but we found a pretty good place at the Rock Rec Center. Thanks to Pastor Jack up there. He really helped us out. Thanks to a friend, Jake Fred, who kind of linked me up with him.
There's a little throwback there, too, in the wrestling room. I think I saw the mats that you guys have there.
Oh, yeah. So we had to change mats, actually, too. Initially, Wilkes-Barre area let us borrow the old coffin mats, and then they needed them for the district tournament. So they allowed us to go down and grab the old Myers junior high mats, because obviously with the schools combining, they're not going to be using that room anymore.
I saw before COVID hit, you guys did some field trips and things like that, and you'd have some big stars coming in, Jimmy Hoffman, the Lane brothers, I believe.
Yeah.
You had. How do you get those guys? And when you get them, how do they interact with the kids? They're just graduated high school, so they have to interact pretty good with the kids.
When we first started, my co-coach who helped me run the program, Kevin McNulty, he knew Jimmy just from high school, and he reached out to him. He was one of our first clinicians to actually come in with Jimmy. That's when we had only 8 kids. So that was really cool, and he was actually a really good clinician, really good with the kids. And then once COVID hit, we had to come up with a plan of what to do. There's only 2 of us, and we want to make it fun, but we want to kind of let's see if we can get some kid just in the area, anybody in the area, just to come in our Zooms and get work done with some top wrestlers that are still wrestling, or past wrestlers. Like you said, we had Jimmy Hoffman, we had the Lane brothers, we had the Hidley brothers that wrestled for NC State. We had Rocky Bonomo come on. We had Ryan Monk, who's now a D2 national qualifier as well, along with Lane and Jimmy. But really, we just use our contacts, me and Kevin. Being around in the wrestling world, you get to everyone. It's like a big brotherhood, and everyone knows each other, big family. So, a lot of people are, they're willing to help and give back to the sport, because if it wasn't for, even older guys when I was growing up to give back, we wouldn't have been the wrestlers we were. So it's an ongoing process.
Now, I have 2 kids under 10. I know you have kids yourself. I know there's a lot of parents out there who want to get their kids back involved in sports, but either the kids are nervous getting back because they've been off for a whole year, or maybe the parents are nervous. How do you kind of, put the parents' minds at ease and get the kids' nerves, gone?
I think with our club, which is a little bit different, is we stress fun from the get-go. We tell the parents too from the get-go, we are not going to push you or your kids to compete, right away. Come in, have fun. That's why we always offer our first session is always free, no matter what. See if the kid likes it. See if the parents like it. We don't really allow parents in the wrestling room either, because we feel the kids need to kind of feel it out themselves and not have to run back and forth to a parent. But it is tough, but luckily the parents that we've had and come through, and a lot of it's word of mouth, and people that just know me and Kevin, they've been very trustworthy with us. trust what we're doing and trust the process of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think, you come to our room, everyone's smiling, and we always either start with a game or end with a game, which is really important for us. And we're trying to do more athletic-based skills than just straight wrestling all day, every day. But that's what we're trying to do.
How do you ease the nerves of the kids? Like my kids, they just went back to school for the first time in about a year.
Yeah. And,
it's getting them around other kids and people they don't know is nerve-wracking. So how do you kind of ease their nerves?
It is tough, but I would say, you talk to the kid. You let them know that, you're there. They could talk to you, and you make a joke with them here, or you ask them about school, or, how are they doing during this time? And, they start to open up. And once they start to open up, then, luckily we have a lot of outgoing kids that, they start coming over and talking to you, and then, a friendship is made. Like my son in general, even, last week he came and one of our other coaches' kids were there, and all he could talk about was his, hey, Dad, my new friend Noah. The kids our kids are really receptive to other kids coming in, and they make them feel at home. That's one thing too, is we stress is we're all a family. We be respectful. We don't call names. We don't hit. We don't do any of that. Like I said, rule number 1 is have fun. Rule number 2, don't talk when the coach is talking. Rule number 3, respect each other. We're all a big family, and it's worked well.
Being around youth sports, have you seen numbers starting to go up a little bit?
Yeah. Where we're at in Rock Rec Center, they run a lot of different programs there too. There's basketball and soccer programs up there that other people run. But we struggled for pre-COVID, we were doing good, and then post-COVID, it was rough in the beginning, but it's been trickling. I tell you, the last month or two, kids have really been coming back. Now our numbers are up in the 20s, which is good for us. We're a small room, but that's where we want to be right now. But I have noticed, kids, not even kids, parents are reaching out to us like, hey, what time are your practices? Are you guys still doing sign-ups? And, ours is an all-year-round club, and you can sign up anytime, you want. So, and I've noticed, we have been to tournaments, and they've been packed.
You wear a lot of hats, obviously. One of the hats that you wear is a athletic trainer.
Yes.
We're 6 months into, about 6-7 months into a lot of differences now. What's one of the biggest differences for you as an athletic trainer as opposed to, a year and a half ago?
I will tell you, I didn't think I would miss athletic training as much as I did. For months, we did no work. In the fall, I'm up at Lackawanna College now for coordinated health of Lehigh Valley, and we did no sports. We had a couple teams practicing, that was it. I had to do screenings for months throughout the summer during the whole COVID process, and then all the way up until December too. Being back now in the spring, in the spring semester, it's different because kids are coming in either not as in good shape as they probably would have been if they were still going and doing stuff in the summer, still had structure going in the summer. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing, a lot more overuse injuries or strains and sprains that maybe wouldn't have happened if they had a more structure and were able to be outside and do things with coaches or in the gym, etc. But it's been a tough go. I know for all athletic trainers, I know a lot of us are just grateful to be back in our settings. I know I am. Our basketball has already started where we're at. Football practices are starting. Our first games in 3 weeks for football. Soccer is going to be coming up. Wrestling started. I'm just glad it's back.
You mentioned high school wrestling. I can probably talk to you for a half hour about high school wrestling.
Yeah.
The state tournament's coming up this weekend. You've had experience at the state tournament.
Yes.
What do you, as a coach, if you were coaching someone who's going to the state tournament, what kind of advice would you give them?
The biggest thing is, that first day, things might be different there. First day is take it all in. First day you get down there, you might warm up. That first day before wrestling actually starts, take it all in. But at the end of the day, you got to remember that first match or those matches down there are just like any other match. Don't let the atmosphere get to you. Have fun. That's one thing I stress from little guys to older guys that I've trained. Since I got out of college, is have fun. Go out there, have fun, score points, and let it fly. You don't want to go out there and say, I wish I could have done this. go out there and, wrestle your match, wrestle your style, and, I think they'll be all right. Obviously, the guys are there. There are some well-seasoned guys that have been going, and, you see the same names every year, and there's a reason, because they're out there getting after it. They made that transition from, elementary, junior high, into high school of, all right, I want to be a wrestler, I want to be a state place winner, I want to be a state champ, I want to wrestle in college. And there's that transition that happens, from junior high to high school, that you need to decide what you want to be. Do I want to just be a high school wrestler and that's it, or do I want to be a champion?
One of the guys who is heading into the tournament as a favorite, Jaden Pepe Wyoming-Gary, he's going to go in ranked number 1 in the state. He's the number 1 seed in his bracket. What have you seen from him? Have you seen him much? And what do you kind of think
I haven't seen him wrestle much this year. I've seen him in the past at some tournaments, and I tell you a lot. He's fun to watch. He's a scrapper. He's a goer. He puts up points. And anybody that puts up points is fun to watch. That'll tell you that. He's not afraid to wrestle anybody. I know that. Last year as a freshman, I think he took 3rd or 4th. He's got, a great coaching staff at Wyoming area too. I know he gets great, coaching in the off season too. From what I've seen, he's a goer. He scores points. I think he avenged a loss this past week too. So, he has the right tools. That kid's going to go far. He's probably going to have hopefully a good college career too if he goes there. But yeah, he's the real deal.
Delaware Valley always seems to have some bruisers, no matter what weight it is. Again, this year they're sending a couple of guys through. From being around them a lot, I can see what they go through, the rigorous workouts they go through. I'm sure you've seen the same. So over the years, what have you come to know about Delaware Valley?
I tell you, I wouldn't even say Delaware Valley. I would say the Lackawanna leagues in general, the last 10, 15 years have made a switch where, back when I wrestled, which was 20-some years ago, you didn't really fear the Lackawanna leagues. You feared some of them, but not all of them. But they've made a transition that, Lackawanna League right now is ahead of the WVC. And, I know a lot of Wyoming Valley Conference coaches and wrestlers probably don't like that, but that's the thing. They're big and they're strong. They're doing things in the off season. They're probably doing things in the in season. They're probably doing in season lifting along with their wrestling. And that makes a big difference. A lot of coaches are against that, but that's what builds champions. Is you can't have, well, I'm only going to lift now, or I'm only going to do this now. You got to do it all year round. If you want to get to that top. But those guys, they're doing something right. They either have a certified strength coach, or they have someone that knows what they're doing in those programs.
Of the nearly 10 guys who are going to be state medalists, only 2 are from the WVC. So
yeah.
So that tells you right there that Lackawanna League is coming back.
Yep. Oh, exactly. And it's been like that, the last couple of years. And not saying that the Wyoming Valley Conference don't have the guys, but it's about the work ethic and finding the right partners in the off season, the right clubs, and coaches putting in the extra time, and even the wrestlers putting in the extra time. I've coached a lot of kids just on the side, like I said, for the last 15 years, and what it comes down to is, do they really want to put that work in the off season? Do they want to give up a morning to go lift and roll around for 2 hours, or do they want to sleep in? That's the difference to a lot of these kids, and I think a lot of it too is, retention rates in wrestling from elementary, junior high to high school drop in wrestling, like statewide, nationwide, and it comes to, and that's why, the club we have is, are we doing too much with kids at a young age, where they burn out, where they don't like it, they stop having fun, and that's where I look at it. I had a kid a couple of years ago that wrestled for my brother, and he took a loss in a tournament, and he was really, really upset. And I said, listen, you're right there. You could be a state champ this year. But you know what? You're not having fun. I go, fine. What made it fun for you as a little kid? Wins are cool, but that didn't make it fun for you. What was it? Was it dodgeball? Was it hanging out with your friends? Was it going to tournaments and the camaraderie? I was like, you got to find that fun, whatever that fun was for you, and do it. Whether it was dodgeball, whether it was sharks and minnows or bulldogs, there's a ton of games that kids play. You see every year at Penn State, they're showing up videos of them playing dodgeball in their room. They're having fun, and they're winning national championships every year, and their guys are winning multiple national championships. And that's what needs to trickle down in the high school and junior high as well, in my opinion.
You do a lot of different things. I've seen you post about flag football or trading cards or wiffle ball. I think I've seen you post about
Yeah, so...
How do you have time for your family doing all that stuff?
Luckily I have a great wife who supports me, and she's been involved in all that kind of with me and helping me, and luckily I have a son who's involved with that stuff. So I played flag football for years, and my son, we got him into flag football last year. He actually absolutely fell in love with it. He's obsessed with it. It makes my wife happy that he's doing things like that, especially with COVID. That was right when we kind of went green, so he was out doing stuff. She's loved seeing him, do stuff and compete. And if you ever talk to my 5-year-old Max, he knows a lot about football, probably more than a lot of 20-year-old kids. And I got into, again, COVID. We're sitting at home doing nothing. These card breaks start happening. A couple buddy of mine's running. So actually, it's a hobby I started with my son. So now we do it together, and that's like our thing. But I wouldn't have been able to do it all if it wasn't for my wife. She holds it down at home, especially with work was crazy. Even now it's crazy. I got to go right to work after this late night, but she's a great supporting cast, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have be able to do all the things I do.
Tell us how to contact Scorpion Wrestling Club.
Scorpion Wrestling, you could find us on Facebook at just Scorpion Wrestling. We're on Instagram, Too Legit, To Quit, SWC. And then Scorpion Wrestling 2019 at gmail.com. Or you could call 570-710-4030 or find me on Facebook, Carlo Mercadante.
All right, Carlo, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
That was local sports enthusiast Carlo Mercadante, who is a very busy guy these days. The weather this week is fantastic. Just look outside. The sun is shining almost every day. The temperature's warming up. Perfect time for baseball. That's spring and baseball in the air. That's my favorite time of year. Ever since I was a little kid, baseball's been one of my favorite sports. And when the weather gets like this, there's just something that says it's time for baseball. And this week, the spring sports season has started in the PIAA. That means practice has started for baseball, softball, volleyball, lacrosse, all the spring sports, track and field. The kids are getting outside, they're practicing. It's one of the best times of year. Baseball season has already started for a lot of colleges. King's College opened this past weekend against the Stevens Institute of Technology. The Monarchs dropped both games of the doubleheader, but it was the first time that they've been on the field playing a game in about a year. The University of Scranton baseball team started 2 weeks ago, back on February 23rd. They already have a record of 2-5 this year. Lackawanna College started 2 weeks ago on February 28th. They have a record of 4-1 this year on the diamond. Wilkes University and Misericordia University both opened their baseball season this weekend, and Keystone starts their baseball season on March 20th. So it is certainly a great time of year with the weather heating up, the sun out. Teams are getting outside to practice in the nice weather, baseball starting. And to top it off, we have all these great sports that are going on with high school, with the PIAA championships coming up in wrestling and swimming. The District 2 basketball championships are going on. A lot of real good things going on these days here in NEPA. That'll do it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at NEPA SportzXtra. That's SportzXtra. Or you can reach out to us via email at nepasportsextra@gmail.com. This is Dave Rosengrant signing off, saying keep some extra time in your life for some sports in NEPA.